America, we got to get back to doing what's expected of us as free citizens in this democracy. That means being tolerant, being respectful, staying informed, and being engaged. I'm former Congressman Joe Walsh. Follow me here and join the millions of Americans who are renewing their social contract with each other. The social contract, it's on us. Hey, happy Friday, everybody. Welcome. Welcome, MAGA. Welcome, far lefties. Welcome, everybody in between. The single best part of the hell that I've been through these past 7 or 8 years, moving from Trump, musket-grabbing Trump supporter, MAGA, to outspoken never-Trumper. It's been a crazy 7 to 8 years, but the best part of it is I've got a unique group of people who listen to this show who follow me because I've been far right and now I'm anti-Trump. I've been MAGA and now I'm anti-MAGA. So I've got everybody listening from left to right. So when I say, hope you've all had a good week, everybody, no matter your political views, I mean it. I mean it. The question this Friday is this: is the Democratic Party big enough for AOC and Joe Walsh? Hey, TikTok, that's the question. Facebook, that's the question. YouTube, that's the question. Instagram, Twitter, that's the question. In this unprecedented time, with that guy in the White House, is the Democratic Party big enough? Is it a big enough tent for an AOC and a Joe Walsh? I want you all to think about that. I don't know the answer to that. It's something I wrestle with every single day. I was a Republican my whole life. I left the Republican Party 5 years ago. I'm in the political wilderness. I'm an independent. I've thought about becoming a Democrat, but I don't know the answer to that question. Today, I'll show you kind of the final clip that I had, my conversation with a group of Los Angeles progressives. And they talked about this. And I asked that question of these Los Angeles progressives. Is the tent big enough? Is the Democratic Party tent big enough? AOC on the left, Joe Walsh on the right, is the tent big enough? What should the Democratic Party do? Should the Democratic Party be full bore behind AOC and Bernie? Seems to be a lot of a momentum, right? AOC and Bernie are out there rallying, man, and they're getting 10, 20,000 people coming to their rallies. Should the Democratic Party go left? Should the Democratic Party move to the center? Don't know. What's the goal? What's the purpose? What's the aim of the Democratic Party? Donald Trump did better in 2024 than he did in 2020. Trumpism, MAGA, this Republican Party, it's a force to be reckoned with. How do the Democrats defeat it? Do they go left? Do they go center? What do? Do they broaden their tent? Do they shrink their tent and just voters? What do they do? And for anybody new to this show, let me just say this. Every single week, I'm going out into the country and I'm having face-to-face conversations with Americans across the political spectrum, groups big and small. I've been in Chicago this week, met with a small group of Trump supporters, then met with a larger group of independents who kind of don't know where they're going. I'm doing this. I'm having face-to-face conversations with the American people because the country's super divided, dangerously divided. The only way we get over this divide is to have conversations. And I have found that there is a hunger for face-to-face conversations right now. And so that's what we're going to do. I'm not about sitting in a TV studio. I'm not about being on my phone all the time. I'm not about, just yelling about Trump for 4 years. I'm all about getting out there in the country, around the country, and having face-to-face conversations. We film these conversations so that everybody can watch these conversations and hopefully learn from these conversations. So today, I'm going to show you a clip, the last clip from my conversation with a group of progressives in Los Angeles. And it was a fascinating conversation because these progressives are wrestling with the fact that they got their butts handed to them in November. Trump won. And in the hour and a half that I spent with these progressives, they wrestled with, what do we have to do? What should we do? How do we win? How do we come together? How can the Democratic Party get better? What does the Democratic Party need to do? It was a fascinating hour and a half, TikTok, wrestling with all of these questions. Today, the question is the Democratic Party. What should the Democratic Party do? Is the Democratic Party big enough right now? Should it be? Should it be big enough for AOC and Joe Walsh? Here's a clip, a short clip on this topic from that conversation. By the way, TikTok, I'm going to pick up the phone and point the phone toward it. Hey, Keith, give it to me.
But this is not a political environment where anybody wants to be together. It is.
Oh, that's an interesting thing to say. That's really cool. That's kind of interesting.
I mean, I live in LA. Maybe I don't know what it's like in the rest of the country. But I also know that every conservative person that I know in another part of the country has no interest in the liberal side of politics. There is a divide that's stronger than what I've ever understood to exist. And my idea, kind of what you're saying, like, I want to see people find common ground. That is really where I think most people would like to be if they really wanted to, not about Republican versus liberal, but on specific issues. Can we not find common ground and actually move forward?
Okay, but who's moving forward? And this goes to this whole issue. Is the Democratic Party, all right, I'll throw down some news. I think every fucking day about I'm politically homeless. I left the Republican Party.
I know, I looked you up. I looked up a lot of stuff before now, but I looked up the last 2 minutes to see what you called yourself party-wise, because I was curious.
Yeah,
like at this moment, what your pronoun was.
I'm fucked up. I'm fucked up. I'm an independent. I'm this close to becoming a Democrat. Primarily because I think this is a unique moment where MAGA and the Republican Party is such a threat. We all got to put policy differences aside and just stop it. But I wonder, to what you're saying, you're getting me thinking, would the Democratic Party be a big enough tent for AOC and Joe Walsh? Well, I don't know. And would you want that big of a tent? I'm with you. Do you want me in the bus?
If you're real quiet.
Would you want Joe Walsh in the Democratic bus? I asked these Los Angeles progressives, and they said, TikTok, if you're really quiet. If you're really quiet. Interesting, right? By the way, that was about a 1.5 minute clip. You can hear all of the conversation with these Los Angeles progressives, but on this very topic of that question, is the Democratic Party big enough for AOC and Joe Walsh? You go to my Substack page, we've got a whole section called Conversations with Joe there's about a 5 to 10 minute piece in there where they answer that question. Is it big enough? Go to my Substack, Social Contract with Joe Walsh.substack.com. And if you go to Conversations with Joe, you can pull down any of the clips that I'm having with the Los Angeles progressives or anybody around the country. But that issue, and I'll tell you, I'll give you the answer. These were 6 Hollywood progressives, Los Angeles progressives, and you're not likely to be quiet. And their general answer to that is, the Democratic Party big enough for AOC and Joe Walsh? Was, I don't know, maybe. These were 6 Los Angeles progressives, and their answer was, I don't know, maybe. Should the Democratic Party go left or go center? They were split right down the middle. They were split right down the middle. Half of these Los Angeles progressives said the Democratic Party needs to go left and energize the left. And Kamala Harris ignored the left, Joe, because she made so much of an effort, Joe. Kamala Harris did. Republicans for Harris, trying to get Joe Walsh and Adam Kinzinger and Liz Cheney to go out and rally Republicans for Harris. Kamala Harris forgot about the left. She forgot about us progressives. I heard that over and over in this conversation. And I've heard that over and over, by the way. Ricky Avers, yes, it's big enough. The tent is big enough. Generally, people on the left who I've spoken with since the election have all said that, I was part of Republicans for Harris, and we went out there and we campaigned for Kamala Harris in every battleground state. Liz Cheney did, Adam Kinzinger did, a bunch of people did, good people. And I've heard from a bunch of progressives that that was a mistake, that Kamala Harris did that. She tried to get all these Nikki Haley kind of Republicans to vote for her. And she forgot about her base. She forgot to energize the Bernie AOC base. I don't know if that's true. I think there's some truth in it. But man, I'll tell you, that's why these face-to-face conversations are so important, because this was the exact issue this group of LA progressives is wrestling with. They want to win. They're trying to figure out how to win. The Democratic Party brand right now sucks. That's not me saying that. That's not some pollster saying that, though every poll says that. That was these Los Angeles Democrats saying that. They acknowledge their brand is in the toilet, and they're trying to figure out what to do about that. And that goes to making the tent bigger or not, moving left or moving center. Should the Democratic Party move to the center? Good, bad? Like, they want to win, and they're trying to figure out how. This is what the Democratic Party is wrestling with right now. And my conversation with these Los Angeles progressives, my face-to-face conversation, was a microcosm of this. I want to remind everybody of something. As horrible as Donald Trump is, and MAGA, he's horrible. As horrible as Trump is doing right now, and he's doing horrible. His approval numbers are the worst of any new decades. I mean, Trump is cratering right now in support. He's losing support. His numbers are terrible. His favorability ratings are terrible. MAGA, I'm sorry, that's just a fact. That's what Fox News' own polling shows. Trump's numbers suck. But here's the deal. CNN came out with a poll yesterday. Listen to me, Democrats. Democrats, listen, tick-tock. As bad as Trump is, CNN came out with numbers yesterday. If Donald Trump ran against Kamala Harris today, 101 days in, Trump still beats her. As bad as Trump is doing, Trump still beats her today. And Trump's numbers, as piss poor as they are right now, as bad as Trump has done these 100 days, my God, Donald Trump, what's he done in 100 days? He's crashed the economy. He's disappearing people. And he's attacking democracy and the rule of law every fucking day. But his favorability ratings right now are still better than Democrats. So Democrats, Houston, we got a problem. We got a problem. And Democrats got to figure out the way. They got to figure out how big of a tent they want to be to win. They got to figure out if their goal is to win. They got to figure out, do they move left, move center? They got to figure out, as a friend of mine said, they got to figure out how to manage their business. They need to figure out what their platform is. They're a mess right now, what their messaging is. All these different ideologies in the Democratic Party. And it really comes down to that question. In this unprecedented moment in time, to win, should the Democratic Party be a tent that's big enough for AOC on the left and Joe Walsh on the right? The sooner the Democrats come to this answer, they answer this question, the better off they'll be. And all I can tell you is, I can tell you what I think, but I'm not a Democrat yet. I can just tell you this. This is what Democrats are wrestling with right now. As bad as Trump is doing, the Democratic numbers are worse. Democrats realize that. I didn't sit down in Los Angeles 2 weeks ago with 6 Democratic Party leaders. I sat down with 6 grassroots Democrats in Los Angeles. And I'm here to tell you, they know the Democratic Party brand sucks. They want to win. They want to bring moderates and liberals together. They want to find common ground. And they're wrestling with the best way to do it, which I believe is reflective of where the Democratic Party is right now. It was a fascinating conversation. Again, to hear the entire conversation that I had with these Los Angeles progressives, go to my Substack, Social Contract with Joe Walsh.substack.com. Go there, click on Conversations with Joe. You can listen to the full length. I think we cut it down to about an hour long, the full length conversation with these Hollywood progressives. You can listen to 10-minute versions of them talking about the transgender issue, talking about why they think people vote for Trump, talking about the Democratic Party. Bunch of longer clips. Go to Social Contract with Joe Walsh.substack.com. Subscribe to my Substack. You don't have to be a paid subscriber. Subscribe to my Substack, become an unpaid subscriber, and get access to all of these conversations. I'm telling you, everyone, I believe there's an audience for this because I've been out in the country for months And everywhere I go in the country, people tell me they want to have face-to-face conversations. They want to do something about the divide. They want to find common ground. They want to hear the other side, whatever. So I know there's an audience for this. This is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to spend 4 years, right, doing a podcast where I can bitch and moan about Trump every day. I'm not going to do that. That's part of what I'm going to do. But most of what I'm going to do is what I call get moving beyond Trump and talking just, thank you, Ricky, talking just to the American people. This podcast, my Substack, is going to be me every week out having conversations with Americans. Next week, by the way, I'll be in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I was in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, talking to Democrats and Republicans and former Republicans, talking to a group of Americans from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, getting their thoughts on everything we're going through right now. So be a part of it. That's what I want to do. Have conversations, the conversations to help heal the divide. You can access all of it. It'd be great if you wanted to be a paid subscriber, but you don't have to be a paid subscriber. Social Contract with Joe Walsh.substack.com. Become an unpaid subscriber. Get the access to all of these conversations with Joe. Thank you for all of that. 2 other quick thoughts this Friday. Got to get 3 other quick things I got to get off of my chest this Friday. Donald Trump this morning tweeted he's going to get rid of Harvard's tax-exempt status. There we go, Keith. We are going to take away Harvard's tax-exempt status. That fucking madman in the White House screamed this morning. Screamed. And he is a madman. He's a stupid, cruel, ignorant person. There, I said it. Donald Trump is a stupid person. He's a cruel person. He's an ignorant person. And by the way, America, that means the second 100 days are going to be a lot worse. Buckle up. But there he was this morning saying that he's going to take away Harvard's tax-exempt status. Let me just say at the outset, TikTok and MAGA, Thurston, love MAGA, Trump can't do that. Repeat after me. He doesn't have the authority to do that. He doesn't have the constitutional authority to do that. Repeat after me. Donald Trump is not a king. I think we've got, what's the number, Keith? We've got 6 billion people listening to me right now. I want all 6 billion people listening to me right now to repeat after me. Donald Trump is not a king. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Donald Trump, TikTok, is not a king. He can't do it. So Trump can't do it. It's unlawful. It would be unlawful for Trump to take away Harvard's tax-exempt status. If you want to have a conversation, America, about removing universities and nonprofit organizations and churches and the rest, getting rid of tax-exempt status for churches and nonprofits and universities, if you want to have that conversation, America, that's a great conversation to have. Trump can't do it. The president can't do it. Congress, hey, MAGA, love you. I'm going to say something right now that Trump supporters, I'm going to say some words right now that America hasn't heard in a while and Trump supporters have forgotten about. Here are the words. Congress must pass a law. Yeah, Douglas, 6 billion people with a B are listening right now. Congress has got to pass a law that says no more tax exempt status for churches and universities and nonprofits. It's got to be a law. Remember those things called laws? Remember that? The House passes a bill, the Senate passes a bill, they come together, they vote on a compromise bill, they approve it, they send it to the president, and the president signs it into law. Remember that process? That's what would have to happen. So Trump can't do it. But here's the more important point this Friday. Do you remember MAGA? I do. Do you remember 7-8 years ago when Trump was president? Excuse me, back up. Boop, boop, boop. 8-9 years ago when Obama was president. I remember. I was a right-wing radio guy then. Barack Obama was president. And do you remember Barack Obama's IRS director targeted Tea Party groups? Do you remember that? I'm a Tea Party guy. I'm a former Tea Party congressman. Oh, I remember that real well. I remember Obama's IRS directed Tea Party groups all around the country. And I remember how angry Republicans were at Obama and Obama's IRS director for doing that, because that's unlawful. Oh my God, that's wrong. That's un-American. Using the government, using the IRS to go after certain Americans because of their political beliefs. Do you remember how angry we were when that IRS director under Obama did that against Tea Party groups? Republicans were angry then because it was wrong. I was angry then. I'm angry at Trump right now for threatening to do even worse. I wonder, MAGA, will Republicans get angry at Trump? Here's Trump today threatening to do even worse than Obama's IRS director did. Obama never did it. Obama never said anything. That was Obama's IRS director. 8-9 years later, here's the current president threatening to use the IRS to go after institutions because, I guess, of what those institutions have said, because of their beliefs. I'm expecting Republicans to be angry. I'm expecting MAGA to be angry. Donald Trump threatening to use the IRS to target certain Americans for their political beliefs. And if this is Trump going after Harvard today, he'll go after you or me tomorrow. You know he will. He'll go after his political opponents, his critics. He'll threaten to sic the IRS on his critics. Again, utterly unlawful, utterly un-American. But yet Republicans won't say a word because it's Trump. MAGA won't say a word because it's Trump. I just love political hypocrisy. It happens on both sides. We're going to hear it today, the silence today from Republicans. Make no mistake, this is the president threatening to use the IRS to silence speech. That's all this is. I'm going after Harvard. We're going to take away their tax exempt status. That's the president of the United States trying to silence, threatening to use the IRS to silence speech. That should be something that angers every American. Doesn't matter if it's Obama's IRS director doing it or Donald Trump himself doing it. Just fucking sickening. But what's even more sickening is MAGA and Republicans won't say shit. because it's not about the principle. It's not about what's right. It's not about the Constitution. It's about devotion, MAGA. Am I right? MAGA, respectfully, look at me. It's about devotion to their leader, Trump. Does something unlawful and un-American, like using the IRS to go after his opponents. When he does that, because he's your leader, he's on your side, you don't say anything. That's the bigger sickness in America. Tribalism, uber partisanship. Only get mad at the other side. Don't get mad at my side when my side does wrong. MAGA, homework assignment, MAGA. Take some time this weekend and reflect upon that. Will you do that for me? Trump is your president, I know. Will you reflect upon that? Please think about this hypocrisy. Do you really want to give a president, any president, the power to use the IRS to go after his or her enemies? Do you really want a president, any president, to be able to do that? Think about it, MAGA. Two other quickies and then we're done. Donald Trump has a birthday in June. I think he turns 79. And you know what Trump wants to do, right? He wants to have a big fucking military parade. Keith, you got that? Donald Trump in Washington, D.C. wants to have a big fucking military parade. He wants to have tens of thousands of our military personnel out marching for him. He wants a bunch of tanks and military vehicles and helicopters and Humvees, and he wants all of it out there. A big old, our weaponry he wants out there. Donald Trump wants in June, this June, a big, humongous military parade to honor his birthday. Fuck no. That's the kind of shit you do in North Korea. That's the kind of stuff you do in China. That's what you do in Russia. That's what you do, right, in these big authoritarian regimes where everybody marches and salutes dear leader, right? You've seen it. Kim Jong-un. This is the kind of stuff Kim Jong-un loves, right? There he is up on the big stand and all the soldiers are marching by him and they salute. And here come the tanks and here come all the military vehicles and here come the bombers. I don't even want to have fun with it. We don't do that here. That's the kind of shit dictators do. That's the kind of shit kings do. We don't do that here. We don't have kings here. We don't have dictators here. Take your military parade, Donald Trump, and shove it up your authoritarian ass. We don't do that in America. You're not a dictator. You're not a king. This is utterly, again, just utterly un-American, but I guess it's something we're going to have to decide, Kathy O'Brien. Do you want MAGA? Do you want to see a big Kim Jong-un style parade in Washington, D.C. in June? Is that what you want to see? Everybody, Elon Musk out there giving the Nazi salute, everybody salute. What you really want to see, America? MAGA, is it? Is it? Do you want Trump to look like Putin? Everybody's saluting. Remember, and North Korea, right? And they all got those big, they kick the legs up real high. And here come the bombs, and he's looking at all of our armament. It's us, man. We, the people, have to decide what the hell kind of a country we want to be. America, do you want to be North Korea? Do you want to be China? Do you want to be ruled by a dictator? And if you don't want to be ruled by a dictator, don't let us live in a country where we are forced to salute and pay homage to a dictator. Say no to this military parade for Trump's birthday. Contact your member of Congress. Contact your United States Senator. Tell them to tell Trump, you're not a king. You're not Kim Jong-un. No military parades in this country. We don't do that here. Contact your senator. Contact your member of Congress. Hell, call the White House. Call the White House switchboard. Tell Trump you're not Kim Jong-un. Not here. Final point I want to make. Again, because I come from the right, I come from MAGA, and now I'm anti-MAGA. I get both sides, all sides, who watch the show and follow me on all of my social media platforms. I got a guy named Christopher James. I'm thinking he lives in Cincinnati. Hey, Christopher, I know you're listening. Christopher went after me a couple days ago. I don't know him. He goes after me a lot. And Christopher went after me. I hope I'm still on. Oh, I just got shut down on TikTok. Damn, don't know what happened. Sorry, I just got shut down on TikTok. I got a guy named Chris James who comes after me, and Christopher James, I invited him to send me an email. I invited Christopher James to send me an email, and I'll come to Cincinnati and I'll sit down with him and have a respectful conversation with him. Christopher James is MAGA. Christopher James is a Trump supporter. He never sent me that email. Chris James, I know you're listening. We never got an email from you, brother. Send me an email, Christopher James. You said you would. We never got your email. Send me an email, Christopher James. I would be happy to come to Cincinnati, sit down with you. There it is. Christopher James, write that down, please. The Social Contract with Joe Walsh. Please, Christopher James, send me an email. By the way, Chris James, I'll do you one better. Keep that up, Keith. Christopher James, you're on Twitter because you're always going after me on Twitter. Chris James, send me a DM. I'll give you my personal cell. You give me your cell, I'll give you mine. I'll give you mine first. I'll call you and we'll set up a time to meet, to have a conversation. Please send me an email, Christopher James. I get so many MAGA tough people, who go after me all the time on social media, like right now. And I invite them to have a conversation with me. I invite them to send me an email. And they rarely do. And that makes me sad because I'm all about having conversations with all Americans. So by the way, everybody listening to me, if you want me to come to your town and have a conversation with you or a few of your buddies, doggone it, send me an email. The Social Contract with Joe Walsh at gmail.com. Send me an email. I'll respond. I would love to come to your town and sit down with you. Chris James, I'll give you another shot, brother. There's the email address. I never got your email, man. Send me an email. Send it to me. You and I will sit down. There it is, Laura. Thank you. The Social Contract with Joe Walsh at gmail.com. Chris, it's right there, man. I'm going to keep calling you out, Christopher James, until you send me an email or send me a DM, brother, on Twitter. You know how to find me. Send me a DM and I'll respond. I would love to sit down with you, break bread with you respectfully. Douglas, thank you. Thanks for everything you do. By the way, everybody, have a wonderful weekend. Have a wonderful weekend. Take some time off, recharge. Everybody else, everybody, be brave.
Thank you for listening. Remember to listen, share, and follow The Social Contract with Joe Walsh on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere great podcasts are found. And be sure to leave a 5-star review. This has been The Social Contract.